All right, folks, welcome to Towns County, Georgia, home to more cows than people, more mountains than flat land, and possibly the only place where the biggest traffic jam is a family of deer crossing the road. Hey everybody, my name is Tim Gibson. My channel is all about North Georgia real estate. So if you are thinking about moving to the area or listing your home, please reach out. My contact info is on the screen right here. Let's jump into Towns County and see what they got to offer. I probably say this on every video, but where in the world is Towns County? Towns County is probably one of the smallest counties in all of North Georgia. Very, very small, but also very nice place to live. It's located about 105 miles north of Atlanta, Georgia. It's closer to North Carolina and Tennessee than it is Atlanta. So that's probably a good thing for those of you who want to get out of the suburbs or you want to get out of the city. Two towns that most people have heard of in Towns County are Hiawassee and Young Harris, Georgia. Population of Towns County, you're saying, all right, well, how small is this place? Well, you got less than 13,000 people in the whole county. Hiawassee has about 1,000 people, year-round population, and Young Harris, Georgia, which is very close to Hiawassee, is about 800 people. And one thing to note about Young Harris, Georgia is that there is Young Harris College there. So, you know, you've got some commuters there, you've got some college students in Young Harris, and they also have a really good planetarium. I visited the planetarium in Young Harris College probably at least 5, 6, 7 times. Really cool place to visit if you live in the area. So, if you were to move to Towns County and you were to put your kids in school, what kind of school ratings do we have for the area? Naturally, you're not going to have very many options. School ratings, you got B+ school ratings, which is pretty good for such a small county. You got 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, and 1 high school, which is to be expected with such a small population. If you were to live in Towns County, do you have to have a farm? Do you have to grow your own food? Or can you go to the grocery store? Yes, they do have grocery stores in Towns County. You've got an Ingles there, common theme. If you don't want to go to the Ingles in Hiawassee, which looks like just about the only option in Towns County, you can drive to Blairsville, Georgia, which we've covered in some of our other videos. Blairsville is only about 15 minutes away, drive time from Young Harris or Hiawassee. No traffic to speak of. So Blairsville, just to cover that real quick, you've got an Aldi, you've got a different Ingles, and you also have a Foodland, you know, just for a couple options there. Where do you go shopping? If you live in Towns County, you can actually go to a couple mom and pop shops, which is common for you know, North Georgia. You also have some antique stores, which is also very common for North Georgia. And you've got not a dollar store, but you've got a store called Just $2, where everything is just $2. I've never been there. I think it might be fun to go take a visit sometime. Like I've mentioned in a lot of my other videos, if you wanted to drive to some chain stores or outlet malls or things like that, you're gonna have to drive. You might have to drive to North Carolina, you might have to drive down to Dawsonville, Georgia, some other place that's got some shopping, maybe even Gainesville, Georgia, which is probably about an hour away. Aside from sipping moonshine on your front porch, what in the world would you do for fun if you live in Towns County in North Georgia? There's actually quite a few things to do. You're not very far from Brasstown Bald. Brasstown Bald is the tallest peak in Georgia. It's over 4,000 feet above sea level. Really cool place to visit, and it's a short drive from Hiawassee or Young Harris. Tons of waterfalls in North Georgia, and one of the more popular waterfalls to visit is High Shoals Falls. It's very close to Young Harris and Hiawassee. I'm using both of those because those are the two most popular towns in Towns County. All right, so probably the highlight, you know, you've got Brasstown Bald, which is the highest peak. You've got High Shoals Falls. The highlight of Towns County, I would say, is Dollar General. I'm kidding. It's not Dollar General, but I'm sure there's probably about 10 of them there. Just like every other county in North Georgia, but Lake Chatuge is actually the highlight, I would say, of Towns County. Some of the houses that you can find on Lake Chatuge or overlooking Lake Chatuge, it's spectacular. Some of the views are incredible. Lake Chatuge is partially in North Carolina and Georgia. Just like any other lake in North Georgia, Lake Chatuge is beautiful, surrounded by mountains. All the water activities you would ever want to do. You can do your wake surfing, you can do your water skiing, jet skis, whatever you want to do. It's awesome. With this being a real estate channel, I, of course, give you any kind of real estate stats that I feel like would be good for you to know. I actually haven't researched house prices in Towns County in quite a while, and I was pleasantly surprised. I pulled up 3 options for you to kind of see here. House prices in Towns County seem to be relatively inexpensive, even compared to other places in North Georgia. So that's a good thing for you. So what I want to do and what I like to do in a lot of my videos is to just break down 3 different price points in a given area to show you what your options are or what you could sort of expect to be able to purchase for your budget in these 3 different price points. All right, so first on the list, we are going to go to 734 Bell Creek Road, and that is in Hiawassee, Georgia. Okay, so let's look at our first option, 734 Bell Creek Road. This one is just under $375. It's a really cool house for the money. 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. It was built in 1989, but it looks like it was completely renovated just a couple of years ago. It looks like a really cute, sort of modern farmhouse cottage style. You got the metal roof, you got the black and white. You got an accent door right there on the front, nice hardwoods. Kind of a rustic interior with some accent walls. Man, this is a super cool house for 375 grand. It's almost on an acre of property. Everything looks completely updated, and look at the view off the front porch. I mean, you got a little mountain view there, got a little nice flat yard, which I know a lot of you from Florida asked me about flat property. This one's actually got a little bit of flat property here. Man, I was, again, pleasantly surprised. I think it's a great house for 375 grand. I mean, you can't hardly find anything that's not a double wide trailer in North Georgia for this price. So I think this is a great little house. So that was our lower price point in Towns County. We're gonna go to our mid price point. We're gonna look at 356 New Forest Road, and that's in Young Harris, Georgia, which is very close to Hiawassee. All right, so 356 New Forest Road. What can you get for your money here? This one is $664,000. You got 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,300 square feet. This house is practically new. It was built in 2022. Sits on just under an acre. You got 0.9 acres here. This price might seem a little bit high, but if you were to buy this house anywhere to the south, like in Cumming or Dawsonville or maybe Gainesville, you'd probably be paying $750,000, $800,000 for this house. Very cool, sort of modern rustic farmhouse. As you look through some of the photos, really nice kitchen. It's a super nice house. Nice giant shower, which is very common these days. Kind of a modern rustic look. I like this house a lot. Again, you got really nice house. You got a lot of flat property, again, which is a little surprising for North Georgia. You got this cool little detached screened-in porch here. A lot of nice property, a very manicured-looking lot here, and you got these big lots surrounding. This overhead view is cool. Looks like they got a little community pond back there. Fantastic house. For 664 grand, like I said, you could not find a house this nice closer to Atlanta for probably any less than $750,000, $800,000. Great house for the money. All right, so now we've seen houses at $375,000 and $664,000. So we're gonna bump up the price point just a little bit to see what you can get for your money, right around $1 million if you got that much to spend. What can you get for your money in Towns County? We're going to look at 1613 Clark Drive in Hiawassee, just to give you an example of the $1 million price point. So first and foremost, if I've got a client that wants to buy a house in North Georgia and they're looking at $1 million price point, the number one thing they want to see is either water or mountains or both. So the good thing about this one is you do have a bit of both. The first photo shows you right here, you got some spectacular mountain views. You got mountains all over in the background, which is awesome. 4 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. House was built in 2008 and it sits on 1 acre. As you scroll through some of the photos, you can also see there's a bit of a water view there. And this is a really cool kind of almost like a mountain chalet type house is what I'd call it. Although I'm not very sophisticated, so who knows, you guys might have a better term for it. The only disappointing thing about this house is that you can't see a Dollar General off in the distance, so I'm a little bit bummed out about that, but I guess that's okay. All jokes aside, you do have 4 fantastic seating areas, lots of outdoor seating space so you could admire those mountain views. Interior looks awesome. Very cool house. Lots of wood accents, lots of rustic accents. Hey, it's even got an elevator. I mean, what more do you want for $1 million in North Georgia? This is a really cool house. I think it's a really nice choice for $1 million if you like this style. All right, for the price points that we showed you, I thought each of these examples were pretty reasonable, especially as compared to if these houses were in a different location, closer to Atlanta, for example. Hey, after doing the research on this video, it made me want to buy some property in Towns County. I've got a couple of clients that came from Florida that moved up that way. Shout out to Lenny and Terry. All right, what did you think? So you got my thoughts on Towns County and what I thought about the prices and the area. Tell me what you thought. Tell me, were you surprised? Were you like, hey, that's actually a pretty good deal? Or did you think that was too expensive? As always, leave me some comments. If you're thinking about moving to the area or if you're thinking about listing a home in North Georgia, please reach out. My contact info is on the screen. We'll see you on the next video.